Celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, sponsored by your local Honda dealers.
More than 6 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's. It's the 6th leading killer in the United States and the only top 10 cause of death with no cure. Women, Black Americans, and Latinos are hit the hardest, which is what we're talking about this morning as we mark Hispanic Heritage Month. Stephanie Monroe is joining me this morning. She is the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Us Against Alzheimer's. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Such an important topic. I know so many of us have been impacted with somebody, one of their loved ones having Alzheimer's, but you say Latino people are 1.5 times more likely to get it. Why is that?
Well, we think it's connected to diabetes, heart disease, other types of vascular conditions that unfortunately Latinos are more likely to develop, as well as African Americans than white individuals.
What can we do to address this increase, this disparity when it comes to Alzheimer's?
Well, that's a great thing. We've been doing and investing so much in research that we now understand that there are things that we can do to mitigate those risks. Things like good nutrition, hydration, sleep being really important.
Sleep is important. I think many of us need that too, but especially as you're getting older, right?
Yeah, your brain has to rejuvenate itself, and it does that overnight. Exercise, at least 3 times a week, 15 minutes a day. Getting out and doing brain activities, connecting with people, being social. Those things that stimulate your brain and keep it very active.
Is there any like the crossword puzzles and stuff like that? I mean, is there any validity to some of that? Because I do those all day long.
Absolutely.
So hopefully I'm strengthening my brain.
Crossword puzzles are fantastic. Math, word games are great. Some people try to learn a new skill, something you haven't done before. So something that challenges your brain a little bit. I used to play guitar very well, and so maybe going back in and trying to build up some of that would be, really good things that keep your brain active. And the important thing about this is that it doesn't start when we're in our 60s. We really need to be focusing on our brain health, of course, throughout the lifespan, but especially in our 30s and 40s, when a lot of times we are the sandwich generation taking care of both our loved ones who may have cognitive impairments, our loved ones who are aging normally, and then also children. And so that's a time of great stress. And we know that that is also a leading indicator that there might be some challenges with brain health. Is the stress that we often face when we're trying to manage all of these different things and work.
We always hear the caregiver needs to take care of themselves as well. And I'm 41, so interesting to think right now, is really, I should be really focusing even more on myself to prevent something from the future.
Absolutely.
Happening.
Yeah, I mean, these are times to really spend time on ourselves and doing things that we enjoy doing. We often are either the mother or the daughter or the sister or some other title, and our self-care comes last, and we really have to flip that, because you can't sort of pour water out of an empty bottle. You've got to make sure that you are full and ready to go.
You talk about it starting now. But this is not normal aging. This is not something that is supposed to happen as you age, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Alzheimer's is a disease. We can expect some types of forgetfulness, which is very different from a memory loss. So if you forget that where your keys are, why you came into a room, that might be normal aging, unless it starts to disrupt your life, right? And you can't do it. But if you go to the car and you don't know what a key is for, I mean, it's normal sometimes to forget a person's name, but if you go in a room and you don't recognize yourself in the mirror, things of that nature.
Wow, that's scary.
It's very scary. And memory is only part of it. And so one of the challenges is when we start to see these changes, that may be subtle at first, go to the doctor, because frankly there are other reasons that you could be having memory changes that have nothing to do with Alzheimer's disease. And so going to the doctor, getting a workup is really important. And the Latino population, it's very important that you talk to your community. The Latino community is a very community focused, and you might have grandma and she might want to bring to the doctor all kinds of siblings, and sometimes doctors are resistant to that. You've got to empower yourself to do what you need based on what your cultural needs and desires are. The doctors are there to accommodate our needs, not the reverse.
Right, you got to be your own advocate.
Absolutely.
I mean, you really need to get ahead of this before it happens. Us Against Alzheimer's, incredible organization. Where can people go and what can they find from you guys?
Well, one of the wonderful things that we have available now for people is I don't want to call it an assessment, but a tool that you can use to do a test for yourself or for your loved ones. BrainGod.org. It's free. It's also in Spanish. It's been tested. We're having a lot of interest in it, but it gives you the resources that you need should you be able to see some changes that you're not comfortable with. And you'll get a printout that allows you to take that to the doctor to have that important conversation.
I love that. Stephanie, such great information. Thank you so very much. Important topic to have. And go to usagainsalzheimers.org, right? That's their website for all the information.